DJ Fresh.
Brother.
Which one that?
Get sharp on face.
Sure, man.
How are you doing?
No, I'm good, I'm good. I must be honest, I mean, you've interviewed me a couple of times.
I was going to say it's wild that 5-6 years ago I was interviewing you.
Yes. In fact, for how long? For about 6 months or so?
Almost a year.
But I guess maybe I'm trying to work in your office, but I can't spin them.
And I can't manage money like you, so it's fine.
That is if it's there, yeah? So, you know one thing that's unique about South Africans in particular, nobody is interested in entertaining this idea, no, but DJ Fresh is originally from Botswana. You are our person.
Sure.
You know, so how do you feel about this love?
You know, to tell you the honest truth, wherever it is that you are impactful, you'll get love.
Yes.
And that's what everything is about. If you're not impacting people's lives, if you're not affecting change, if you're not a positive force in people's lives, then you're of no use to those people.
That's true.
So it doesn't matter where I am, whether I'm in China, South Africa, the US.
Yes.
My point is leave a mark, be memorable.
Wherever you are.
Yes, sir.
But somebody must have instilled these principles more, or how did that come about?
I think, you know, as you grow, and in fact, I'm here with my folks, because my folks are visiting.
Wow.
And so, I mean, just watching how hard they worked to make sure we got the good things.
Yes.
I'm not going to tell you a story about how life was tough.
Yeah.
You know, my folks worked like very hard to make sure that we went to the best schools, that we lived in a good area, that we had good food to eat, and that we were raised right.
Yeah.
And I think it all adds up. Like a lot of the inspiration I can link directly to my folks and their work ethic.
So what were the toughest moments there? Because, I mean, people look at you now and say, wow, look at DJ Fresh. I mean, you're just cruising.
Sure.
It's not like you were born with a silver spoon. I mean, let's talk about those humble beginnings, Nje. What was it like?
One of my biggest complaints about childhood, and that is why, as much as I possibly can, I'm trying to fix that with my kids.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, the downside of parents working very hard is you don't get to spend enough time with them.
That's true.
And unfortunately, no amount of getting your kids everything they want can replace time spent.
Yeah.
So I often look back and wish we'd spend more time together. That's what a lot of us parents make the mistake of doing. We think as long as I buy them the PlayStation, I buy them this, I buy them that, they want Nikes, I buy them their sneakers. But kids just want time.
I'm wondering how many parents have relegated their responsibility to Google. Their children are being fathered and mothered by Google.
Exactly.
Even when the child is trying to spend time, he's asking a question, go and ask Google.
Or watch the TV.
Yeah.
And unfortunately, you know, the internet is a gift that's also a curse.
That's true.
And if we don't help them manage their time on it, that is also problematic.
True.
And even ourselves, the fact that we are not willing to Google with them is a problem. You know, at the very least, if your child is asked, Google with them. So that if Liwena you don't know, let's both learn at the same time.
That's true.
You know what I mean? So now for me, that's the biggest challenge. And parental guilt. I mean, I've been dealing with parental guilt for the last 25 years.
Yeah.
Where there's not a moment I don't feel guilty about the time I can't spend with the kids.
Yeah.
Yeah. So it's a horrible feeling.
Wow. So how did the money thing work growing up? I mean, it's not an easy subject amongst black people in particular.
Sure. Especially when your parents are sitting here.
Especially when the parents are sitting there. Was it ever even a topic? Because in some families, I know it's a topic.
You know what? It wasn't necessarily a topic we discussed.
Yes.
But watching money habits often forms yours.
That's it.
Or watching bad money habits often informs what you change to break that chain.
Yeah.
It's not like we were spoilt. It was, you know, you'll get the basics.
Yeah.
You know, you'll get a roof over your head. You'll get basic clothes. Like my sneakers, I mean, I got North Stars.
Yeah.
It was a case of if you want something luxurious, you must work for it and get it.
Yes.
In hindsight, I fully appreciate it because then you develop a sense of you need to work for these things.
Yeah.
They can't just be thrown in your lap. But obviously you don't understand at the time that maybe you are being taught to appreciate that will get you the basics. But
Yeah.
if you want more than the basics, then you work hard yourself. You get it yourself.
So what were the financial habits that you would have observed, or the way they were handling this whole thing of money, or to get you to respect money? Or
The one lesson I learned, because the folks were business people also, it was to differentiate between this is the business,
yes,
and you must draw a salary from the business
yes,
and make do with that and allow the business to grow. Unfortunately, a lot of our parents often didn't differentiate between this is the business and you are not the business.
yeah,
Therefore, you can't just take money from the till and go buy groceries.
yeah,
And so that's one thing I learned as I started in the industry. That set up a business or a company through which all my income runs.
That's
So
right.
the voiceovers, the gigs, any money that came in goes to the company. I draw a salary and I leave everything in the company. Whether salary is enough or not, you better make do with it.
that's true.
And I think the discipline of understanding that serves you better as you are building or trying to build money habits. And unfortunately, ill discipline is the biggest downfall of the human race.
Yeah.
We're just not disciplined
No.
as animals.
Yeah.
So learning that for me was difficult. I often speak to younger DJs and people in our industry that even if all you earn is 100 Rand, get into the habit of putting some of it away. Because if you can manage frugally 100 bucks, $1 million will be nothing.
Yeah.
But if you are reckless with 100 bucks, you'll be reckless with $1 million.
That's true.
For me, these are habits you have to learn. They're not easy. It's not easy. Especially you see money, you see a nice car, you want to get the car.
That's it.
You know?
Yeah.
Or you see credit, you think, no, you know, and you forget that, no, this is credit. This is not your money.
Yeah.
These are some of the disciplines I've had to learn, and often you default
Yeah.
because you're human.
Yeah.
And the pair of shoes was calling your name, or the car was calling your name, you know?
Yeah.
But if you can stay within that discipline,
Yeah.
you'll thank yourself later.
You know, I've had a chat with a couple of young DJs who are just starting off and they're seeing their career take off. They have this thing out of, man, I'm making money, it will always come.
Yeah.
What would you say to a young DJ like that? I mean, they're starting to get these bookings. They think,
The thing is, I see it all the time.
yeah,
You know, sometimes you want to pick up a phone and call a guy. But also you ask yourself, do I want to open up a door of disrespect?
Ish.
Because, you know, you don't know how they're going to respond.
Yeah.
Or from which place are they going to receive it?
Yeah.
Because you mean well. Like you've bought 5 cars in 10 months. Why? You know what I mean? Why aren't you paying off your home rather than have 5 cars for 5 months? So, you know, some I've advised and they've listened. Others, it's a case of all we can do is watch.
Yeah.
But one thing COVID taught me was that the proverbial always have 3 months of income in reserve.
Yes.
It's not enough.
No, it's not. It's not. It's not.
And I mean, it's been preached to us for years.
Yeah.
That always make sure you have a funding now.
Yeah.
That can last you 3 months in the event you don't have employment.
Yeah.
It's bad enough the average employee is 1 paycheck from being bankrupt. That we're literally living hand to mouth. We're living hand to mouth. So COVID found me ready, but just for 3 months.
Yeah. And 3 months is not good enough because you don't know how long this thing is.
Because, you know, when we're told, say, for 3 months, it's that whatever happens, hopefully you'll get another job or whatever it is.
Yeah.
But we never took, actuarial scientists never took a pandemic into...
Not at all.
So COVID taught me that much.
Yeah.
But luckily, because I'm also very enterprising, we're able to stay afloat. Because now we didn't have gigs, but I still have stuff to pay. You still have school fees to pay. You still have a bond to pay. You still have car to pay. And the fact that I managed to go through COVID without having to say to the bank, I need a payment, holiday nyana, you know, either for the bond or for the car. You know, I got out of COVID feeling like, oh wow, it wasn't as bad as I thought it would be.
Yeah.
Yes, we're still recovering, but it could have been worse.
You know, I won't mention names. I mean, lots of celebrities who are very difficult to access, ne?
Yeah.
General. But got COVID.
Yeah.
The WhatsApp, hi.
COVID was actually brutal.
Yeah.
It was brutal to a lot of people. And because not generally I'm a giving person.
Yeah.
I mean, I was supporting about 8 families of people in our industry that had zero income. You know, you're a band member and now there's no gigs. And because you're a band member to someone who sings, they can't exactly pay you because they're not making money either.
Yeah.
So I was literally getting groceries for up to 8 families every month during COVID because that's how bad it was. And unfortunately, it's a bad habit I have.
Yeah.
That it doesn't matter how little I have, I will still help someone.
What has been the toughest money lesson you've ever learned?
It's never enough. I now understand why extremely rich people are still greedy.
Yeah.
It's never enough.
It's not enough.
Yeah, I want to help people all the time. I'm that guy that if I have 1 rand, I'll give you 10 cents if I can buy you something. So my toughest money lesson is learning that I need to look after my money before I can let other people have access to it. It's a tough lesson to learn because my calling is to make a difference in people's lives. You know, people call me a broadcaster. I'm not a broadcaster. Radio is a platform through which I can make people's lives better. That's why I view everything that I do through the lens of, but will it make someone's life better?
Yeah.
So because that's my calling, it becomes difficult for me not to help people, even where I can't afford to help those people.
How do you handle disappointment?
I handle disappointment by keeping it moving.
Okay.
You know, many have called me a heartless
Ish.
or unfeeling
Yeah.
because of my ability to keep it moving.
Yeah.
Winston Churchill said, if you're going through hell, keep going. I'm that guy.
Yeah.
If the stuff has hit the fan, everything is on fire, I'm not running around looking for a fire hose. Where do we get out of this fire?
Yeah.
How do you get out of this situation? How do you keep it moving? How do you rebuild at the end of the fire?
Yeah.
But why are you sticking around? Everything is burning. Why are you sticking around? Because of that, I've got an ability to literally, if you tell me my job is finished right now, I'm not going to sit and cry and say, where's my job finished? For me, it's, okay, the job is finished. I must go find another job.
Yeah.
And literally a week later, you are literally in my past. Like literally, that's how quick I can move on.
Yeah, and I think for me that's a rare skill for many people. But I guess maybe one of the biggest challenges, relying on a single income.
Yeah, single income is problematic, especially in our industry where a lot of us are depending on a God-given talent.
Yeah.
But included in your talents was not an ability to diversify or to find other ways of leveraging the talent. And again, that's what I preach to a lot of kids getting into the industry. That your income in entertainment should be 25% potentially of how much you can make a month. Because already you've got the spotlight on you. Why are you not leveraging that spotlight?
Yeah.
You're meeting people who are influential every day. Why are you not networking to find out how can I use my relationship with you to get to another door that I might need to have opened? And until we learn how to network within our industry, until our education department sees why, for instance, project management must be a compulsory course at school. Can you imagine if every child was taught project management at primary school? Because your homework is a project.
Yes, it is.
Your school project is a project.
Yes.
Managing your friendships is a project. In fact, your entire life is a project.
Yeah.
Why are we not teaching kids project management from an early age? We would have less failures across the board if we taught kids basics like that. Money wisdom, why are we not teaching that at school?
That's true.
Tax, why are we not teaching that at school?
Yeah.
Critical thinking, why are we not teaching that at school? If we had all of these things compulsory along our schooling career, we'd have totally different human beings to the 8 billion we have on the planet right now.
I think part of maybe the reason a lot of people struggle with starting a new business, because they're thinking, well, because I've got this great idea, when I start it will succeed.
Yes.
But it doesn't always take off. Have you tried some businesses that didn't take off, that failed dismally?
I think the first problem is entrepreneurship has been glamorized.
Yeah.
It's been glamorized at a level that doesn't make sense.
Yeah.
There's nothing pretty about entrepreneurship.
Yeah.
It's sleepless nights, it's stress, it's anxiety, it's not seeing your family. It's, if you do it right, it's being broke for a very long time before your business takes off.
Yeah.
I mean, when we started O-Ship, it's a cruise I do with Euphonic.
I know, yeah.
The first 3 years of O-Ship, we either lost money or we broke even.
Okay.
The first 3 years.
Yes.
It's only year 4 that we just more than broke even. And then it just started building and building and building. And until you've built a business from scratch to maybe it's not worth it, to, oh, okay, there's light at the end of the tunnel, to, oh, the light at the end of the tunnel is not a train, oh, there's hope, oh, okay, we made 10 bucks today. Until you built a business from that to there, you're not an entrepreneur. You're not an entrepreneur. You're not. And unfortunately, the guys who have a lot of money often make it seem like it's easy to make the money. Yeah. Or that it's, you know, all I do the whole day is drive a Porsche, you know, sail on yachts, and go to Cannes for the Cannes Film Festival. Real entrepreneurs go through hell every day. You know, we need to tell people the truth. That you're going to struggle. You're going to have cash flow problems. You're going to have days where you want to go to the till because there's no bread at home. But if you go to the till because there's no bread at home, because maybe your little salary you didn't manage well for the month, then you're affecting the cash flow of the business. So now you're choosing between, do I get bread or do I let the business run independently of me because I am not the business? And I think that's the bigger challenge with us in the arts. As much as you are the business, because your talent is the generator of the income, you need to separate the talent from your personal life. Hence I say set up a company, draw a little salary, and let the business grow.
If you were to look at yourself, let's say 15 years ago, in terms of how you might handle finances then, are there specific things that you think I could have done this differently if you know what you know now?
I wasted a lot of money on cars.
Cars?
Because I was releasing an album or two every year since 1998, 99. Every time we dropped a new album, I'd go change my car. Sure. Because I could. We know we're dropping Fresh House Flavor. We go to EMI, we get an advance. Yes. Go buy a new car. Yes. That was a waste. Like there was no need for that. Yeah. And it took my mentor, Oskido, saying to me, what are you doing? Yeah. Like, buy property. Like, why? What is this? Yeah. But also, you know, Oskido went through a stage where he was driving an ML, a Mercedes ML. And I was inspired. I went and bought an ML myself. Yeah. So next time I see Oskido, he's in a Corolla. He's like, my man, stop wasting money on cars. Yeah. Get property. And for me, that was the turning point in terms of my relationship with cars versus my relationship with property, for instance. That unless you have made a bucket load of money, don't waste money on cars. And unfortunately, we've turned cars into such a status symbol that if you are in our industry and you're not driving, people look down on you. Or people feel like, but you're on TV. Why
you're supposed to keep this standard. I
mean, because of Uber, I say, if you don't need a car, don't get a car. If it's between, I'm going to pay 5 to 10 grand a month on a car, or spend 3 grand on Ubers every month, why are you blowing money on a car? When you could save 7 grand, because now you have means of transport. In other economies, you take the train, you take the bus, because they've got a transport system that works.
True. And you don't actually need a car.
And now that we have an option of an Uber or a Taxify, if you don't need a car, don't get one. But now there's the pressure of the industry. Sure. But you're on TV, in fact, why are you not driving a 4-pipe? 4-pipe for what? Because you're not there when I can't sleep because those pipes are demanding fuel. So I think we need a shift in mindset. And unfortunately, I often argue that for significant change to happen, something needs to break. And until something breaks in how we perceive money, we perceive success, until something breaks even in us, nothing's going to change. We're going to it's literally a vicious cycle.
And isn't this, though, propelled by, artists who know very well that they have huge followers, and then they are flexing, and you see them taking pictures with this very. And I'm not saying a person shouldn't. Everybody is entitled to do what they want to do with their lives and show us all the, you know, most expensive stuff that they have. But this value, what does it mean?
You know what? I think conspicuous consumption is a global problem. At some stage, someone wants to show something off, including our politicians.
Yes.
Even our politicians do it.
Yeah.
You know, our politicians half the time are wearing shoes that cost more than you know, a small car, or watches that cost. You know, maybe it's knockoffs.
Yeah.
But it doesn't matter whether you're wearing a knockoff or not. We don't know it's a knockoff.
Yeah.
So the fact that even our leaders are consuming conspicuously is a problem. But whose responsibility is it to remind your kids, or my kids, that often it's smoke and mirrors versus, for all you know, there's someone else who's funding that lifestyle. Live within your means, for instance. Whose responsibility is that? Because at some stage, we have to take responsibility for ourselves and for our immediate family and for our immediate friends. We can't blame the music that someone took a gun and went and shot people. If you've laid the foundation for a decent human being to grow, no amount of music or social media will deter them from where they're going.
How are you going about preparing your money now to take care of you when you can't take care of yourself?
You know what, when I started working at YFM in 1997, by January 98, a friend of mine, Thabo Mukwele from Kaya FM, introduced me to another Mukwele, and through him, I started a couple of Nyana investments, life policies. So even at the height of COVID and where incomes were, everyone was struggling, I've made sure that those contributions don't stop. Because for me, medical aid is very important. So those contributions can't stop. Insurance is important. Those can't stop. You know, whatever little investments or offshores that I have, can't stop those. I'd rather we eat less expensive than have to stop those. Because it's like insurance. You hate insurance until you're in between insurances, and then a tree falls on your car. Then what? So now for me, those are non-negotiables. Those are non-negotiables. You know, tomorrow you die. Your kids are left destitute. Because you haven't thought of all of those. So for me, those are non-negotiables.
You have a lot of intellectual property that you've built over decades. How are you ensuring that even when you're not around, that your children can live off the legacy you've left?
If, for instance, you're making music, it's important that the paperwork is in order. Especially in this age now of all it takes is one of your songs going viral, you know, for it to become a global sensation, and all of a sudden your fortunes change. All it takes is one song for that to happen. So I think it's always important that the paperwork is in order for anything that you do, or for anything that your IP is attached to. You know, the rest, I guess, is up to the gods. Because there's no guarantee that your intellectual property is going to turn into a multi-million product. But in the event that it does, is everything in order? I mean, you saw what happened with Jerusalem. When that song went viral and global, all of a sudden there's, but it's my song, I produced the song, I wrote the song. If there was comprehensive paperwork, they wouldn't have had to have that back and forth.
Argument in
Exactly. So paperwork is everything. Everything.
If bank account DJ Fresh called him, what would the bank account be saying to him?
Wake up, what are you doing?
It means there's still some work to be done.
It would shout at me for the frivolous purchases I've made in the past. Because like I said, I mean, when we were younger, I mean, in our mid to late 20s, we were literally just burning money. It was actually unnecessary, and a part of it saddens me, but I regret none of it though. Because in the bigger scheme of things, when you die, what you take with you is the memories you've created, not what's in your bank account. So I preach all the time, if you're going to blow money, blow it on experiences that you look back on and you say, wow, I've lived my life.
Yeah.
Because ultimately, that's all you're leaving with. If, like in the movies, if you're about to die, your life flashes in front of you. What's flashing in front of you? You know, have you created enough good memories to say it was a life worth living? So as much as I might scold myself for some of my purchases, I don't regret them because they were experiences.
I'm sure you get called, I won't mention the name of some of these clubs, very upmarket and well-known, and where you come and DJ and you see a person blowing 200K that night and you're busy playing there. It must be hard for you looking at that, knowing what you know about money, and you're seeing people having fun and saying, well, that's how I entertain myself.
Again, you know, it's also the flip side of that coin is, who am I to judge?
Yeah, yeah.
You know, and often all I hope is whatever money you're blowing is your portion of whatever the money is.
Yeah.
And I see it every year.
Yeah.
Where a guy gets a nice project or a tender, and before the project has even started, they bought a car, or they bought a property. Or they go to the lotto, they get whatever funding they're going to get. You get 10 million rand. 6 million goes into a house.
Yeah.
Before you started your project. Like, what are we doing?
Yeah.
So I don't care how you blow your money.
Yeah.
Just make sure you're spending your money from whatever money there is. Otherwise, there's a problem.
If you saw a guy like that, and let's say somebody you know very well, and you can see they're flexing and they're blowing it and all that, and the next thing they've fallen and they come to you and say, hey, I need help, Chief. How do you respond to somebody like that?
Previously, I might see what I can do. But what COVID also taught me was it's okay to say no.
Yeah.
Or it's okay to say I can't.
Yeah.
It's okay to say you caught me at the wrong time.
Yeah.
Yeah. But I will never say to you, but when, what were you doing? I'm not that guy who's going to say, but what were you doing?
Yeah.
You had money the other day. It's not my place.
Yeah.
Because already you're suffering enough. Now someone you're asking for help is going to gloat in your face about your misfortune. I'm not that guy.
It's true. I mean, one needs to be very careful about giving unsolicited advice.
Yeah.
I heard somebody say they saw a homeless person and they decided to give them 100 rand. So immediately when they gave this person 100 rand, they said to this homeless person, please don't go and buy drugs or glue. And this homeless guy just turned and looked and say, do I tell you what to do with your money? So it's very dangerous to give unsolicited advice, and which is something I'm going to ask you finally.
Yeah.
If you were to talk to not just the young and upcoming DJs, I'm talking about even the well-established DJs or anybody in the creative arts when it comes to handling money, about, you know, the fact that you have it now doesn't mean you'll have it tomorrow. What sort of advice would you give to people like that?
I'm in two minds about spend your money because tomorrow is not promised or guaranteed. But also, it's a long life you're living and you've got children or family or dependents. You know, hence I say, as long as for every 100 rand that you're making, you're putting something away for either the rainy day or for, you know, an unfortunate event that is coming that you're going to pass away, that there is something left over. But we also need to remember not to be afraid to celebrate our little milestones.
That's right.
Because it's the little milestones that encourage us to keep going, to build or dream bigger. So as much as I'm not going to say blow your money, but don't feel guilty about celebrating your little milestones. I don't think we celebrate ourselves enough. I think often we are unkind to ourselves. We beat ourselves too much. And unfortunately, your voice is very powerful. And we talk about the power of manifestation, where, you know, if you dream it and you say it and you want it, it will happen. But you're also the first person to call yourself stupid. But hey, you're so dumb, why did you do that? There's the same powerful voice that you're hoping will help you manifest, that you're using to pull yourself down. What do you think is going to happen if you're unkind to yourself? If your voice is that powerful, vele than udom.
That's true.
I think as much as we always preach kindness, start here first. be kind to yourself.
Yeah.
You'll be amazed at what a happy self, because of self, can achieve.
I'm sure you've watched the show I Blew It.
Yeah.
What do you think has gone wrong there?
Again, it's discipline and not having money habits instilled in you from an early age. Back to what I was saying, that if you are reckless with $100, you'll be reckless with $1 million. But if you know how to spread $100 and get value out of $100, then having $1 million will not actually, you will not flinch because it's $1 million. It's just more money to manage, but because you can manage the small amounts, it's a discipline thing.
Thank you so much. We really appreciate it.
Are we done?
Words of wisdom. You know, sometimes, like they say, brevity is a mother of wisdom.
Yes, sir.
I think the little that you've shared, I'm sure a lot of people will pick up something there.
I hope so.
You've said a lot of wise things there.
But may I also just add, especially to kids wanting to get into the industry, you know, a lot of kids think this industry is glamorous and it's easy money. It's rough, especially after COVID. 90% of the DJs I know that were career DJs have gone back to a 9-to-5 because things are that rough. So you need to consider all of that when you're considering a career in this industry. Yes, it might be your passion. Yes, you might be talented. But until you have made it enough that you can sustain yourself and the people around you, have another job. There's a saying, any job until the right job. Just have an income.
That's right.
Don't sit at home and say, I'm waiting for a phone call because my talent is going to waste. If you can develop a work ethic doing any job you're not passionate about, that work ethic will work for you when you find something you're passionate about that someone is willing to pay you for. But instead, we find any job, but we drag our legs. Because, like, you know, I'm working at a till at Pick and Pay. Why can't you be disciplined enough to be the best person at any Pick and Pay at a till? Because that work ethic, you know, kicking butt, doing a job you hate, will serve you when you find the right job. Like I said, we need to break how we think so that we can start growing as individuals, as people, as a society. Until then, sadly, mediocrity is celebrated, and we even think our own mediocrity is good enough. And it's not. There's too much mediocrity out there, and we all encourage it because half of it are doing it ourselves.
I think you should consider another
Drop the mic.
Consider another career. You know which one.